It's for the hopeful elect, them only. Call halayim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kodash. And double honors unto our elders, the elders and apostles of GMS, do rule well. Shalawam to the hopeful elect. 1 John 4:1. It says, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are going out into the world. You see, verse 2, it says, Hereby know ye the Spirit of God, every spirit that confesses that Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, is come in the flesh of God. It says, and every spirit that confesses not that Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, has come in the flesh, is not of God. See, it says, and this is the spirit of Antichrist, of whom, says, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. Verse 4, it says, Ye are of God little children, and have overcome them. You see, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So if you're being used, you got the Lord is using you, and that's the thing. You're either teaching the people the 100% truth, or you're not. And you're going to be doing it predicated upon, the Heavenly Father's standard, man. Because the Son said he came to do the Heavenly Father's will. That's what, once you understand how serious this is, man, you start treating people differently. And I'm going to get into the testimony and the confession on my part, because that's what this is. This is a testimony and a confession. They are of the world. It says, therefore they speak they of the world, and the world hear them. You see, the world's not going to hear us. They're not going to hear our calls, what we go through. They're not going to give a fuck. So don't expect people to give a fuck about you. To the sincere brothers and sisters, man, don't expect people to give a fuck about you, man. That's why I always say we the only ones that gonna give a fuck about us. Obviously, you got AI out here, people, taking pictures of trying to pretty much get images of AI images of you and scan your face and all of that, man. It's some bullshit. But see, they're doing this in vain, man, because the Heavenly Father's still going to destroy all that. And see, we're telling them that these things, and they're still coming at us, doing things so they think it's a game, okay? Verse 6 says, We are of God. He knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Because, we've been tried, man. You see? So if you've been, you can see it, you've been sent, you sensing what's going on, right? You sensing what's going on, the sifting that's going on. There's a reason why there's a sifting going on. Because the Heavenly Father's doing these things through his son, Yahweh Shai. If you keep reading, it talks about his love and how we're supposed to abide in it, which is a huge fail for a lot of people. It's so far from what we seeing, bro. From what I'm seeing in the spirit, that's why, this testimony, this confession is for, the sincere, hopeful elect on my part. Acts 28, let's get Acts 28 and 15. It says, and from thence, when the brethren heard of us, they came to meet us as far as Appii Forum. It says, in the three taverns, whom when Paul saw, he thanked God and took courage. It says, and when he came to Rome, the centurion delivered the prisoners to the captain of the guard, but Paul was suffered to dwell by himself with a soldier that kept him. And I'm in my testimony. If we are in the same lot of a lot of these different, the ones we read about. We're in the same lot as them, man. Brothers and sisters, we're in the same lot as, you might be in a lot of Job or Jeremiah the prophet or King David the prophet. Not prophet, King David, or, but everybody, if you're of the hopeful elect, you're in Yahweh Shai. That's the most important thing. There's a lot of people that think that they're not, man. They're not. They're going off. Anyways, it says, Paul called the chief of the Jews together, and when they were come together, he said unto them, Men, brethren, though I have committed nothing against the people or customs of our fathers, yet was I delivered prisoner from Jerusalem into the hands of the Romans. He didn't do anything. He didn't break any laws, right? Under the Roman, according to the law of the Romans, obey the law of the land. these devils clearly don't even obey their own law. So just a hypocritical nation that the Lord spoke about. But anyways, it says, just like you got a lot of hypocritical people, everybody's a sinner, man, first and foremost. So, and no sin is greater than the other, but there are certain things that, people count as sin because, we was doing customs are can still be accounted as sin. When the Lord gives you an order or you feel something in the spirit and you go against it, that's a sin, man. Obedient to the spirit is, got to be a thing. Repenting to the spirit got to be a thing because that's how we do it. That's how we do it. We got to go through the men that the Lord set up, and we got to do it in truth and sincerity. And eventually the truth of the matter of all these things is going to be brought out, or whatever people saying about you, whatever. But anyways, this is the testimony. And I'm gonna try to make this quick. I'm gonna try to squeeze it in. It's the testimony and the confession. About me not making, because there ain't no excuses. And I'm bringing this out. Because you can judge the matter however you want. But these things do happen in the truth, and I'm not making no excuses, man. You should be doing videos as much as you can every day. But anyways, out here where I'm at right now, I'm not gonna give my location, but was dealing with I'm not gonna give out no names either. You, Salakia, you who's of the spirit, man, you figure these things out. I'm not gonna give out no names, but not with this epistle. I was dealing with somebody out here when I first got out here to where I'm at. As I believe the Lord moved me and was moving me to be in the spirit to be where I'm at right now. I first got out here. It was a lot of weird shit going on. Not gonna lie, where I'm at. So, I met certain people, right? I was doing a lot of things. I was helping a lot. You coming in the truth, or you're in the truth, and you're doing things, and you don't, what I'm saying, you're trying to help the right people. You don't know who. And at the end of the day, the Lord's showing you who the right people are. Let's look in the mirror. The greatest enemy is you as well. That's in this truth. So, hey. Anyways, we was, I was dealing with a person, a whole bunch of shit that was going on. While I was dealing with this person. But this person came off as a, very righteous individual. And it was a woman, she came off as a very righteous individual. I was trying to help this individual because that's how I am, man. If you come off as somebody, I really genuinely want to help you. You see what I'm saying? Pretty much I wanted to help this individual. And they didn't want to receive the help. They went their own way, So I just said, fuck it. They let them go their own way then. There's nothing I can do about that. So I continue to go my own way. And there was a night where, this individual, this is why I say, man, I've always known women full of shit. That's why I don't deal with women. The words they use towards me is be some bullshit. The night that this happened, I'm about to tell you about the testimony in the confession. Because while I was gone for about 5 months, and it was my fault. I take responsibility because, me trying to, me helping somebody else and not fully, being apt myself in certain things is what led to this, this situation. When I should have just said to this individual, man, you got to get the fuck away from me. Because you lying, you're doing too much weird shit, and I can't deal with that right now. Or you just gonna have to leave, period. And that's why I say, man, there's certain people that that's in the truth that you're around, certain brothers and sisters and elders too, man. You should don't ever, take correction as a bag. You should be thankful for correction. You got to be thankful for correction. I'm thankful for it, even if it hurts. But at the same time, you got to be willing to speak out on things. And that's what this testimony, this confession is for, to the ones to the sincere hopeful. But anyways, like I said, things that happened with that, me and this woman that I was dealing with at that time, she said I would never ever leave you, right? And me and my head, this is the crazy part, because the Lord can give you a spirit of discernment over certain people, man. Before I even let this woman into my place of residence, I told him, man, you gonna end up leaving. you're gonna end up leaving. And guess what? They did it just that. You know, like right when they found out, figured out, found figured, figured they figured me out, or they figured out something about me based on what they was hearing from everybody else, listening to everybody else but me. And I was the one helping you, dealing with nobody else was. So, anyways, uh, I'm looking at it like this, man. Lord's gonna figure out a lot of people, man, and he's already doing it. But man, it's crazy, bro. Um, like I said, he was dealing with this lady, and I was told. I feel like I was, I was dealing with a. I was came in, I felt like I was dealing with an elder. He was learning, he was teaching you certain things, and showing not teach, but yeah, he taught me certain things and showing you certain things you hadn't looked into, but you had knew about. It was just you didn't need to consider because you had knew about the falsity in it. But it was, there was a lot of back and forth, and and it's like, well, I mean, when I see how our people are living today, I can't do nothing but help, see that damn, this was all agenda, the who was having a debate over this person was definitely a false prophet, you know, and as I was telling them about this person that they deemed as a righteous prophet, like nah, that was a false prophet. Now they might have had the right intentions, and the Lord, he does look at the intents of our heart, but what they was prophesying was not a time of peace, so they wasn't supposed to be out there. That don't mean that they was wrong. The Lord would take you out, and that was a crucial time because the small hats were being set up for their judgment. So we wasn't supposed to be talking about peace. We wasn't in a time of peace. They was talking about go to war. MLK was trying to tell them not to go to war, right? Now you know who we was talking about. Anyways, but that don't justify what he was talking about because he was still preaching the peace, and there was no peace. He was prophesying the things that the Lord never said. That's you know, and Heavenly Father took him out for that. Like I said, our people have been scattered amongst all nations, and once He brings to light, what was done to all of us and how we were scattered, the true sincere, man, I believe that but just stay faithful. It's for all of us. Anyways, man, like I said, where I was at, where was I at? Oh yeah, so she walked out. I was, fuck it, just went to the gym that day. That's how I cope, and I was, at that time I was working out. Obviously, if you see me at that time, I was pretty much working out. I was getting bigger, stronger, definitely way stronger. At the end of the day, I don't know. I get some people, don't. I don't know, man. Planet Fitness is one of them gyms you can't do a lot of things in. So, anyways, prior to me, this incident I'm about to tell you, me and this woman that went to this Planet Fitness, and it was a woman that came out here and I had been dealing with. She, and she needed to use the restroom from this Planet Fitness, obviously, and she just so happened to be a veteran. So obviously, I'm a veteran too, and I had a membership with Planet Fitness, but they wouldn't let us use it. So I was like, okay, fuck it, let's just leave. And then this person got mad, and I'm like, I kind of felt some type of way too, because I'm like, bro, you can't even use the fucking bathroom in the gym that I literally paid for, and I'm literally showing you I paid for it here. I just need to get a new card or whatever, and I will pay for it. I was trying to let this get in there so this person could use the restroom to kick this out. So going into the incident, this that happened because it would happen about a week and a half or two after that first incident. Um, when I was in the Planet Fitness, I was, working out, doing my, hitting the weights, and then this, woman came up, female lady came up to me in the Planet because you can't slam the weights in the Planet Fitness. I didn't know that. I slammed the weights, and that I've done it before, and they came and corrected me. And I didn't know how serious it was. I didn't mean to do it. I was still in an angry state. You go to work out, you work out to, you're not working out to, calmly. If you're working out for results, you're working out to better yourself. You work out, it's exciting, it's loud, it's certain things happening. But I don't never try to. When I'm in the gym, I don't try to get in people's way, bully people, none of that, man. I just, it was just one of them things where I'm working out aggressively. I guess that made people feel some type of way. That's why I don't like going to the gym. I say buy your own stuff. But yeah, that's what happened. If you're able to, that's what happened. You know, pray about it, man. So after all of that happened, I did react to the woman. I shoved her off because she got too close to me, and I called her a bitch. And that was documented in the police incident because that's what happened. That's what happened. I ended up getting locked up for some things I did not do. And then I got the evidence of everything. I got the evidence. You can look up the court cases, but you're gonna see is assault on a female. But why won't they ever play the video? Which they're gonna say assault, but it was really just a shove because you was too close to me. I don't like you getting too close to me if I don't like you like that. If I don't know you like, and I know you're trying to do some weird shit. So I gave her a little shove away from me. Now get the fuck away from me. I called her a bitch, which I should not have done that, and I did apologize for that because that's what we do when we wrong. We do apologize, but hey, people be doing things to you to fuck with you too, and they think that it's just you. Nah, man. But hey, it's all good. If the Lord is true and sincere to who He says He is, it is what it is, man. Um, because I didn't do none of that shit they were saying. He said he was going, and if you, never mind. He said he's gonna punish your father for his iniquities, your son for his iniquities. So, anyways, it's hard for me to do this because I don't like giving out testimonies, things that didn't happen to me. I hate that shit, bro. But I'm doing this for you brothers, you sincere sisters that's out there, because I believe in the spirit that's gonna be useful one day eventually. I mean, it's an algorithm, right? But then they're gonna get rid of it. But really, the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua knows already anyway. So, anyways, she told me to leave after I called her a bitch. I went to the ad machine. I didn't just leave automatically. So I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and leave. I don't want to cause no problems, whatever, right? So I got off of it. I flipped it because I was angry. I shouldn't have did that either. But guess what? That was not a charge. She pretty much, all of this is on camera. And even then, I still would have served all time unjustly. That was not a charge for how long they had me in 7 max prison, not prison, 7 max jail. 24 hours. A whole bunch of shit. Just I seen 5 people, 6 people going crazy, man. And there probably more. I can't even count, man. It was people getting sent to insane hospitals, man. People, trying to get help and people getting fucked with by the man. There's a lot of shit going on in there. See, but during the time while I was in there, guess what? The Lord still allowed me to witness to some of those brothers that was in there because there was some degenerates. There was some real trail Jakes in there. You can tell, and there was some real stand up, honest Jakes in there too, man. You could look at and these are real ones, man. They're not gonna fuck you over because everybody want to be seen. And man, you can tell these were good. These were more genuine brothers and brothers that saying that they in the truth. That's what I got out of these brothers in the spirit when I was dealing with them. They were still learning. They was all in prison with me and this and that. Anyways, like I said, I was in 7 max. And this wasn't the first time because they did this another time. I got locked up before that for about it was 11 or 12 days. And you can look these things up in the was it High Point crime. I don't know, High Point, North Carolina. You can look all that up, man. It's up there. I believe I'm not going to give out my face or my name, obviously, but you can look those things up. And yeah, these things. That's what happened. In the Planet Fitness, I flipped the thing. I shouldn't have did. Like I said, I shouldn't have did everything I did. I did apologize for in court and to the lady. I was willing to do it with the lady, but she didn't come, so that's whatever. And I just walked out. But here's the kicker, man. As I was going to get my stuff right, and was going to go walk out, the because I technically in the state of North Carolina, I didn't break any laws. You see, but anyways, as I was walking out, she told me to leave, so I just, I was leaving. At first I was just trying to worry, and I'm like, nah, don't even do it, man, because you pay your money for things, and people be trying to fuck. Don't even do it, man. Just leave, and I, cancel the membership. Don't ever go back. And that's what I did, But as I was leaving, she literally get you. You'll see that if they play the video of her, you'll see her try to stand in front of the door, and try to get me to hit her or do something to her, touch her, man. I'm like. And I'm thinking, I'm still walking towards the door because I see the cop looking like right behind her coming in. She didn't see the cop coming in, right? It's like, so it just seemed like it was set up to me, man. So as I was leaving, she moved out the way because the cop eventually came in. He was, coming at me aggressively, but he was coming at me aggressively, but she literally stepped in front of me. And he said, when you read the report, he said they got a call, wanted me to leave to escort me off the premises. I was already leaving the premises and was going to cancel, was never going to go back. Get my own, the Lord bless you to be able to do things, what he gave you with in the money. Because I use, my military money to get things done, to help me, family, this and that. And guess what? You don't even have to, I really don't even have to tell you that because I do other things too on the side. But I don't do illegal shit. I don't prostitute our hoes. I don't sell drugs. I don't do none of that, man. Every now and then I'll go if I'm able to get a temp job or do something online or whatever, because I know I'm not able to just get out there right now. And that's the thing that be pissing me off because a lot of people don't even know your situation. But whatever, man. The Lord knows. That's all that matters. So, anyways, I'm leaving the cop. Now I'm a little aggressive because working out, adrenaline, right? So I'm a little aggressive, but then I end up toning it down. He asked me, she said, "We're just trying to see what's going on." He said, "You're being detained," and because if you're being detained for a reason. Either a cause, right? They got a call. If you got a call, but a call for what? And that's what I'm saying. They got a call for them to come and escort me off the premises. I was leaving the premises. I was never going to come back. And what did they do? The Edomite cops. I don't know if they was Edomite cops, man, but I was getting escorted off the premises. I was trying to tell them, you'll see everything in the video because everything, everything, certain things I'm not proud of, but it was in there. Yeah, all of it, man. I'm not proud of none of it. And like I said, I got the video. If brothers want to see, I got the video. I got screenshots of a lot of things. I got, man. That's why I'm saying there's no point even keeping all this because the Lord already knows a lot of things with certain brothers, man. He's gonna move. And it's crazy, man. Because the whole time I was locked up, I kept saying the Lord gonna get me out of here. People thought I was crazy. He was treating me like a monster, all kind of stuff. I kept just reading the words, building up in the word, man. You know, to the best of my ability. And then, people, like some of them was, they started reading their word too. That's why I'm telling you, you got brothers in Charlotte, whatever, listening to you, probably New York, probably Chicago, probably wherever, man. You know, uh, Dallas. I was in San Antonio before. I give a testimony of that in my life. I've been there before, but at the end of the day, you know, man, we're dealing with the cops, man. They pretty much they was telling me and they got a call and this and that. They're detaining me, and I'm like, what am I being detained for? He couldn't tell me because if you're getting detained, you're getting detained for a reason. It'd be escorted off the premises. If I was already leaving with my objects, just let me leave, officer. I was even toned it down because at first I was a little aggressive because of how they came up. One officer comes up with the damn nightstick, and three of them, they all pulled up at the same time. One of them pulled up first, and the second one, it's like they all pulled up at around the same time, man. It was very weird and strange. That's how I know. But these are things that go on in my walk, man. That's how I know I'll be getting followed when I say, look, I know there's some of y'all, whether it be in GMS or whether it be wherever you at, that's tapping into people, hacking people's shit, doing the working iniquity. That's people doing that in GMS. It might be people that you think is 15, 12, 10. That's a long time, but you can be doing something that was 40 years in the wilderness, man. You can be 40 years and the Lord still get rid of all of y'all. And we in the wilderness every day, man. Sometimes I'll be thinking, the Lord says he ain't, because we in them times, man, the Lord about to really, is set for our appointed time. I believe everything is about to happen, quick. But the Lord, there's certain things that can happen where the Lord can change his mind and delay it for a little bit, man. You see, Jeremiah 18:8. There's certain things that can happen where the Lord can delay that shit. But it's crazy, man. Hold up. Gone. But it's crazy because, like I said, the cops, I got the video and the lawyer, everything is in the transcript. I had everything, it's whatever, right? Because I don't get in trouble with the law like that. That was my first case in years. The first case I got was when I was young. I got sent to detention and multiple. That's something I've always dealt with. Anger and getting, fights and getting, detention center, excuse me, or getting in whoopings, all of that, but not because I went out looking for trouble. More so because it's crazy. Trouble always came found it finding me, man. Grandma always used to say, "Yeah, you ain't going to throw the first punch, but watch." But anyways, that's what happened. That was what was going on in the gym. I went out, so I came outside. Three officers came. They was all aggressive. One of them came. One of them, I could say he pepper sprayed me in the eyes, even though I had my hands up. And you'll see that in the video. I had my hands up. I don't know if you might have to zoom in on it. He still pepper sprayed me. Because this was after he told me to show him I was going to give him my, you're being detained. So I was like, you know what? Just give these niggas my ID. So I was going to just go ahead and give him my ID, but I was trying to tell him it's in my bag. And you'll see that in the video too, as I'll go and get my bag. I was trying to tell him my ID is in my bag, bro. That's how I sound. That's how I was sounding. It's in my bag. And they won't let me. I was even gave it to them. I say, here, take the bag. My ID is in my bag. I'm letting you take the bag, bro. And they wouldn't take the bag. So, hey, they wouldn't. It's like, I'm like, bro, my ID's in my bag. And then one of the officers, you'll see him get the nightstick. And there's 2 seconds later after that, the second officer pulled up, ran up, it was like, put it down, drop it. I drop it. As I drop it, I told him, man, you can pick it up right there. My ID is in my bag, the first pouch. And he still wouldn't do it. So now you're being arrested. For what? And they couldn't give me a reason. And they wouldn't play the video of what happened in Planet Fitness because they want assault on a female to seem like I just go around beating females. And that's not the fucking case, man. And none of you motherfucking niggas or bitches know none of our story. So you need to really ease up off of certain brothers and sisters, man, because you don't know what the hell's going on. But anyways, that happened. Um, I'm not making no excuses for it. I could have handled that way less aggressively, and I would have just been able to go home because that really I was about to leave that day. After that incident with that woman, I was leaving, man. So I took that as nah, the Lord want me here, to keep doing the work because I was already going to go to the highways and byways anyways. Once we got done doing whatever, I was told to help her with. So it is what it is. Um, she went out, like it says in the law, you leave. I can't. No, I'm not supposed to force you back. You left. If you leave, I'm not gonna force you back. I'm not gonna go find you. None of that, man. If you leave, man, me personally. I'm just gonna focus on the work and the faith, man. Building up my faith and building up myself and building up other brothers, sincere brothers and sisters, man. Because we're not in our glorified bodies. We're not in nothing to build up the nation. You see, and we need healing too. Immense, crazy like healing, man. So it is what it is. Um, I've been dealing with that in this truth for a lot. Dealing with cops, dealing with fuck niggas. I done had to fight, and a lot of times it was not me. And sometimes it was me. It was my mouth that got me into that. I could have just said, nah, man. I might have been done wrong. I could have just let them have it. That's why I look out at, man, I'm just let certain people just have it, man. Cause I'm not trying to get in trouble with the law. You got a lot to lose right now. You understand this truth, man. You have the understanding. You see, so don't let nothing in this that you're going through at this point in time or in any time. If you in this truth, if it affects you, if don't let it deter you from the truth, man. Because the Lord only saved a few people. Remember that 8, like the elder apostle Gabar, always goes into the Lord only saved 8 people. You see, and so you don't know who the Lord's gonna save. You don't know who's dealing with, who he's gonna save. You don't understand his ways. It says God is to take care of widows, children, the brokenhearted, the unjust, right? We don't know who we are in the spirit, but at the end of the day, we know we know where we mess up at, and we examine ourselves, and it ain't no excuses, man. You know, we try to fix it, but at the same time, like I said, man, I'm not gonna front with nobody. I'm not gonna front in this truth. I just pray that I'm able to stay in and stay humble and sincere in truth and sincerity, be able to grow in a soft answer, having a soft answer, and been having soft speeches and being nicer. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, motherfuckers ain't been nice to me in this truth. So this is how I had to develop to get the point across. So if you don't like how I speak, certain time, hey man, go. You really can just stay away from me, man. Just listen to somebody else. I don't care, man. This is for the hopeful elect. I'm just gonna block you, delete you, whatever, and you'll never come back on my channel again, bro. Unless you create a fake account, and I'm that intriguing to you, and you gay. I like thick women, man. I like various different types of women. I don't like men, you know. So that's there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things being put on brothers' names. A lot of things are gonna get cleared up by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I wholeheartedly believe in the faith because of what's already done happened. He says he desires a sacrifice of mercy, right? So that's why, I didn't really want to bring none of this out. And like I said, I got the evidence. You can go on High Point, North Carolina, and that's, you see them 6 months. That's why, that happened. And and it was all those charges got dropped, except for that assault on the female. But Planet Fitness, the lawyer told me they wouldn't play that video. I believe they even got rid of the video. Hell, the cop, when I was locked up, said that they didn't even have a video. They wouldn't play it in court. They wouldn't play it in court because they know I didn't do what they was trying to get me to, well, they need something on my charge, man. They need something on us, man. They need something on you so they can get you. And that's what the devil does. That's why I'm telling you this testimony, man. Don't, all these elders, these women, man, look, respect your elders, but elders started going off in the old age too, man. So remember, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash, man, more so than anything. That's for me, you, other brothers, sisters, anybody that's come into this faith, man, because it's fearful. That whole scenario got me right in the spirit because the whole time I had been asking what's going on, this and that. I've been concerned. I've been praying heavy, man, because I genuinely want to help people. Now I see, like I said, Lord, help not the ungodly, don't help certain people, man, or certain people you ain't supposed to even be around right now. I think that situation was just rushed because, uh, I believe certain people was lying to her that she was listening to. And, me personally, I just wasn't ready to, talk to nobody about the things or doing nothing. I wasn't ready for none of that. And I don't believe that person was either, So it is what it is. I'm still going to keep doing the work, as much as the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua allows me to do it, and I pray that, when, at the end of the day, my testimony, we got multiple testimonies in our walk, man, but our testimony really is of Yahweh Shai because it's his works. It ain't ours. Yahweh Shai is the reason why I didn't, whatever they tried to do to me, they didn't happen. Salaki, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is also the reason why, whenever I was trying to reason with them, and tone down the aggressive, because like I said, the Lord put certain spirits on us, man. Because he knows the type of people that we be dealing with in our everyday life, brothers and sisters. It includes the law. If you're dealing with the law, if you're dealing with people that work in the law, child support, homes, Social Security, they're like that. But at the end of the day, this truth is deadly serious, man. It's very serious, you know. And that's why, even for myself, you come in, you laughing, you think certain things, you looking at you like certain brothers funny. I'm like, are y'all? Then you start seeing certain things. You're like, nah, this is really serious though, bro. And then certain things is funny, But sometimes you need to laugh, man. You need to fucking laugh, man, about the wickedness of, what I mean. Look at the shit that we in, man. Sometimes you need to fucking laugh. But you want to laugh with the right people. There's certain people that laugh not to laugh for, the joy in with you or lift you up or lift themselves up. They laugh, with a evil intention towards brothers, man. Like they'll laugh you to scorn, mock you to scorn in their own wickedness, man. The Lord be seeing that too. You see? So, and I can deal with the laughing this corner because I played sports. I always had to deal with that type of shit, and silence people that's talking to me crazy. It wasn't always good. But at the same time, it wasn't one of them things where you're not just going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I haven't done when I know what I am going to do and what I have done, and I've done nothing to you. That warranted that reaction, man. You try to be respectful to people and love. You go to people. You try to do the right thing by people, and certain people come all soft spoken and shit. And you realize because you thinking you learned how to be like that because you realize when you was in the world that people wasn't like that with you. So you do that with people that you feel you have a compassion for. And you realize that, man, these people don't need to be talked to commonly, man. Some people need to be rebuked harshly. And a lot of times I need to be rebuked harshly. I'm going to be honest with you on that. That's true. But a lot, I don't know how to explain. I deal with ailments that deal with the military. I'm not going to explain all of that to people on the comment boards and shit, you know. But at the end of the day, there's nothing on my record that they have that's substantial. What I do behind, in my own home, that's my fucking business. So anybody that's speculating, that's my business, you know. And whoever the Lord has ordained to be in my life, that's my business. And how I'm dealing with that individual or how I'm, listening, that's my business. So at the end of the day, there's always something that brothers dealing with, whether they deal with their mother, women, other, and these are thoughts too, because demons they be working on brothers too. Thoughts, things that didn't happen. You be thinking because you be trying to get over it, but it'd be like, man, because you hear a certain thing, you're like, man, I done spared a lot of people that spared a lot of people, man, that won't even spare me a penny. So like, I done spared a lot of people that won't even spare me a penny, man. So I'm like, okay, fuck it. Whatever, man. Call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And let's just keep, riding this thing out, man, and learn to embrace the suck, brothers and sisters, man. So that was my little testimony in confession, you know, because, I don't do this truth and guile. I know that there's people always watching me and trying to get something off of me, man. They've been doing that to me since I was a baby, man. So I don't give a fuck, man. I'm not lying to none of y'all. You can do the research yourself. You can reach out to brothers, whatever you want to do. We can talk about it. But at the end of the day, I gave that out there. I put it out there. It's out there. I know certain people know what I'm talking about. It is what it is. You use discernment to see to determine who's telling you the truth and who's not, man. You use discernment because I got the receipts on that. So anyway, it's called Allah Yumla Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rikaha Kodash and Shalawam to the hopeful elect.